And I think that people that are saying, I can't dance, they just don't know how to suck, how not to compare, how not to complain, how to just play. And play is where we discover ourselves. Hey, I'm Rebecca, and welcome to the Mama Lorian Way, where I believe that full self-expression is a vital component of everyone's life and that entrepreneurship is one of the best vehicles for that kind of expression. Today, my topic today, I keep having a reflection in my glasses, confidence. Confidence. And to be fully self-expressed, if you're confident, it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier. And some people, I think, believe that you're either born with confidence or you're not. And I'm going to disagree on that one. I think that confidence is something that you practice. Because when I grew up, I was super duper, incredibly, almost pathologically shy. And no one now would say that I'm shy at all, because I have figured out ways to feel confident. And the good thing is, and there's a science behind it, the more you practice these things that confident people do, the more confident you feel. The more confident you feel, the more you do these things. Let's go to a slideshow. I started out with 10 things that confident people do, and it ended up being 12. 12 things that confident people do that make them feel confident. Number 1, they approach. And this is contrasted with avoidance. So instead of, say there's a situation that makes one feel uncomfortable, a very normal way of protecting ourselves is to retreat, to avoid. Maybe it's a task, maybe it's a conversation, maybe it's even just saying hello to somebody, that special somebody. And instead of approaching, we avoid. Well, interestingly, what that does in our brains is, if you kind of think about your brain as a snowy hill. And when you do something or you have a thought, it's like a sled going down that hill. Well, once that sled goes down the hill, there's a rut that makes it more probable the sled will go down the same rut. And to change it, you take the sled down another rut, or down another path that's fresh. So when we have a situation that we don't want to do and we avoid it, it gives our brains okay, we went down this rut and it feels good. We got a reprieve. We got probably a dopamine, maybe other neurotransmitters. Got a reprieve from that. So the next time we're in a situation, we're avoid. If you approach, even if you're kind of nervous about it, you get that same dopamine rush because you've approached. Likely nothing has happened to you. And then you can approach a situation, a conversation, a relationship that you've been having problem approaching before. If that's too intimidating, introduce themselves and say hello. Just you're walking by somebody on the street, you say good morning. It doesn't matter if they say good morning back or not. Just the act of approaching. And they move, I already talked about this, moving towards their insecurities, not away. The more you move towards your insecurity, the less it becomes an insecurity. Number 2, they let you talk. They're not so concerned with what they're going to say next that they'll listen to you and let you talk. And doesn't it feel better to be in a conversation with somebody who lets you talk and it's a back and forth and you feel listened to? When you have confidence like that, you actually instill confidence in other people, and it's a reciprocal relationship. Number 3, they ask for what they want via nonviolent communication. So this is in a book by Marshall Rosenthal, I believe. I'll have to look on it. Didn't do my homework. This is, they don't act, they're like needy. I want. They ask for what they need in a direct statement. Think about a kid going, I'm thirsty. It's not real confident. They are asking for a drink of water. They need a drink of water. They don't need the thirsty. Okay, I heard you, you're thirsty. Great. No, they need a drink of water. But they don't know, they're kids, how to ask for what they need. And even as we grow into adults, we expect sometimes people to guess what we need. This is something I need to work on too. Ask for what you need. I need a drink of water. You say, I'm lonely. Well, maybe you need a hug. Say, can I have a hug? Number 4. This is a namaste. This is the brightest, the highest in me honors and acknowledges the highest and brightest in you. When you're practicing being a confident person, acknowledge other people. It gives you confidence and kind of a sense of peace to acknowledge the good in somebody else. It makes them feel good too. Number 5, they can admit they are wrong and they can say, I don't know. And I love this picture. It's like, I don't even know what I don't know. I think in a lot of leadership circles right now, the saying, I don't know, those magic 3 words, is kind of a theme right now. The ability to be confident and say, I don't know, and I don't have to pretend to know, is absolutely powerful. Further is, I love the saying, my bad, because it's easy and it's not just like letting you off the hook, but it's like an acknowledgement. Oh yeah, I screwed up and it's on me. Try it, because it feels way better than trying to slice it underneath everything else and pretend it didn't happen or pretend you know more than you do. Number 6, they don't feel the need to compare themselves to anybody. I don't know how much I need to say of it. If you feel the need to compare yourself, you're always going to come up short, because what you're comparing, I'm imagining when you're comparing, you're something that you actually don't have yet or you want to have. We very rarely compare ourselves to people who are pretty much the same or compare yourself to somebody who has less. It doesn't even right. That feels almost like an icky kind of thing. So we're always comparing ourselves to something that we don't have. Well, there's always going to be people who are taller, faster, stronger, smarter, richer, prettier, better spoken, can do crossword puzzles better or shoot darts better. There's always going to be somebody who can do something better than us. But if we can go, yeah, that's great, and then acknowledge them, that's what confident people do, and it makes us more confident. Number 7, they don't complain. They don't complain. Or worse, get into the complaining comparison. Like, it's always raining harder at my house. There's a great saying in Texas of, it's always raining harder at their house. Those are the people that you say, well, I missed the bus this morning. They're like, well, I not only missed the bus, but it splashed me and I got mud all over myself. I dropped my phone in the puddle, and it's always worse for them. That doesn't instill confidence. That actually instills the other. Doesn't mean that you accept everything that comes at you and go, oh, okay, well, I guess that's the way it is. It's raining, I'll get an umbrella. You're confident that there's some action maybe you could take to overcome the situation instead of just complaining about it. Number 8, and I got this from a book called The Game of Life, written in 1925 by Florence Shinn. She said, faith is a belief something good will happen, and fear is the belief that something bad will happen. So confident people have faith that something good will happen, not the opposite, fear, which is like faith that something bad will happen. And when you can get your mindset around this, it's like this lady's face. It's yes. Faith, something is good is going to happen rather than fear. It is just the belief that something bad is going to happen that hasn't happened yet. Number 9, they are curious. They stay curious, and they're even curious to know where they may be wrong. So their mindset's not set in, I am right, therefore I don't need to know anything else. It's like, whoa, what is out there? I mean, think of how curious little kids are. They're like, why, how, what is that? Because they haven't seen the things before, and they don't have the sled I was talking about before going down their brain so much. They're like, oh, I know what that is. Oh, I know what that is. I know what that is. They're open to something that they don't know. Curious. Number 10, they surround themselves with people who are smarter than they are. Smarter, more talented, more skilled, more. They're not, because they're not comparing themselves. They want to be around people who can uplift them, who might see something that they don't see because they're also curious. They aren't afraid to suck at something new. This is really big. This is really big. Okay, so anything that you start and you're new at, you're probably going to suck at. How do you get better? By continuing to go through the suck until you can shine. You got to show up and suck before you can show up and shine. I think this is why some people maybe can learn a foreign language when they're adults, and some people have a lot of problems with it. Because when you're speaking a foreign language and you're at the level of a 2-year-old, like 1 or 2 word sentences, you pretty feel like you're sucking at it. But to get beyond that, to get to your 3-word sentences and maybe your 4-word sentences and finally use another tense rather than another tense rather than the present, you're going to suck a little bit, and eventually you're going to shine. And I think this may be the most important. They play, they dance, they have fun. And when I think of like, if you go to a dance and you see the people along the edge of the dance floor and they're like, yeah, I don't dance. And then the people on the dance floor who are dancing, who's fully self-expressed? Who's going to remember that night as being fun? And I think that people that are saying, I can't dance, they just don't know how to suck, how not to compare, how not to complain, how to just play. And play is where we discover ourselves, fully self-expressed. Hey, I'm Rebecca. If you like what we're doing here, please hit the like button, comment, subscribe, and also any suggestions for future videos, I'd love to hear. Have a great one.